If you've ever rewritten the same email 4 times and still felt unsure before hitting send, this isn't about competence. It's about what your brain is trying to do with uncertainty. Because part of you assumes, if I just think this through one more time, I'll feel settled. But that feeling doesn't fully land, and there's a reason for that. The people I see struggling with this the most are not lacking knowledge or information. They're very thorough, responsible, detail-oriented. They think things through carefully. And yet, there's often a part of them that keeps going back, rereading, rechecking, rethinking. Not because they don't have an answer or don't know what to do, but because they don't feel settled. So they keep searching for something that will close that gap. I'm thinking of a particular client, a tenured professor at a prestigious university. She's sitting at her laptop going through an email she's about to send. She reads it once, then again, then she changes a sentence, softens the tone, adds context, then removes it, adds it back. At one point, she opens a message to a colleague and says, "Quick gut check, does this sound okay?" And then she pauses, because part of her already knows it does. If someone else sent this, she wouldn't question it. But because it's her, another part starts scanning. Is there something I missed? Could this land wrong? Should I think about this a little more? So she goes back in, not for clarity, but for relief. This is where the pattern becomes clearer. Overthinking isn't random. It's doing something very specific. It's actually a form of anxiety management. When something feels uncertain, part of your brain gets activated. It starts trying to anticipate outcomes, reduce risk, and prevent something uncomfortable or sometimes catastrophic from happening. And thinking becomes the tool, because thinking feels productive. It feels like you're handling the situation, like you're being responsible, planning ahead. But what it's really trying to do is settle the internal tension that comes with uncertainty. If you slow this down, there's a clear goal underneath it. Part of you is trying to feel certain. Certain you're making the right decision, certain you can anticipate the outcome, certain you won't be caught off guard, because certainty feels like resolution, like you can finally move on. But there's a problem. Most decisions don't come with that level of certainty. So part of you keeps searching for something that doesn't fully exist. So if we peel this back one more layer, it's not that you don't know what to do. There's a part of you that does. The tension is coming from another part that isn't fully sure how things will feel afterward, how you'll handle it if something doesn't land well, if someone reacts in a way you didn't expect, if you're disappointed because of a specific outcome. So instead of moving forward and dealing with that later, part of you tries to solve it now by thinking more. But thinking more doesn't solve that problem, because self-trust isn't, I know this will work out. It's, I can handle this even if it doesn't go the way I planned or hoped for. And that doesn't remove uncertainty, but it changes how much power it has over you. So instead of trying to shut off overthinking, I want you to work with it differently this week. So practice number 1 is make decisions without full internal agreement. So pick one low stakes decision each day. Give yourself 5 minutes, then decide. Not when every part of you feels settled, but when part of you says, this is enough to move forward. Practice 2 is identify what part of you is trying to prevent. So when you notice yourself looping, pause and ask, what is this part of me worried will happen? Let it answer honestly. That's usually where the real tension is coming from. And acknowledge this part has good intentions and is just trying to protect you. Practice 3 is let the feeling be there without fixing it. So after you make a decision, notice the urge to go back in, to check, adjust, get reassurance, see if you can pause, even briefly, and let that feeling exist without immediately trying to resolve it. That's how you start building emotional security and tolerance. Overthinking makes it feel like you're solving the problem, but the problem isn't the decision or outcome, it's how much you need those things to feel certain. And self-trust isn't something you arrive at, it's something you build through moments where you move forward while part of you is still unsure and realize you can handle what comes next. So I'm curious, what's one decision you've been going back and forth on? Not because you don't necessarily have an answer, but because it doesn't feel settled. You can share it in the comments or just name it for yourself. And if you want to go deeper into this work, I expand on these patterns in my book Unpacked and in my newsletter.